Brad Biggs and Rich Campbell, the Chicago Tribune, here at Soldier Field after the Bears' 20-19 victory Thursday night over the Jaguars, moved to 2-0 in the preseason. Jordan Palmer leads 2 touchdown drives in the fourth quarter.
Mr. Comeback.
Yeah, to put the Bears over the top there. Interestingly, though, I think that one thing to look at is maybe tightens up that number 2 quarterback race a little bit. Jimmy Clausen had an interception. It was a ball that was tipped. I thought he played relatively well. That's one of the battles that they've got going on here.
Yeah, and we continue to see that thing sorting out over games. And Mark Trestman has taken the long view on that competition this entire time, even though Jimmy has appeared to make strides and close the gap throughout the first part of training camp. We've got a couple more games to go, and it could come down to that 4th preseason game.
It could. It'll be interesting to see who comes off the bench in relief of Jay Cutler next Friday in Seattle. On defense, they had some issues. I think with the first team, they gave up some points. They weren't great on 3rd down. John Bostic and Shea McClellan played a ton tonight. They did not come out when the starters came out. Anything you took away defensively?
Well, I think you continue to see the edge presence with that first-string defensive line. What Phil Emery wanted to do with that group, make it a tough defense to run on, especially on the edges, and so far that's been the case. We saw it tonight. Jared Allen even made a stop on the edge. That's a good sign. John Bostic said he felt more comfortable tonight because he played more Mike linebacker than he did last week when he played more Sam against the Eagles. And we'll have to see how he ends up grading out once we talk to Mark Trestman on Friday. But he seemed encouraged by the way he played, had a great run stop on 3rd and 1 that forced the Jaguars into a field goal. He said it was something he saw on film earlier in the week. So for him to see a play on tape during the week, see it on the field, execute it the way that the Bears wanted to, that's a positive stride.
It was a 4-yard loss on
Right.
Toby Gerhart. That was a nice play. Injury-wise, Zach Miller, the tight end who had such a big game a week ago, leaves with a left foot injury. He's in a walking boot. I don't know where that thing's headed, but he's a guy who hasn't played in a regular season game since 2011 because of a series of serious injuries that he's had. I'm sure the Bears were probably holding their breath with him a little bit. Matthew Mulligan, though, steps up, makes 4 catches. I think he's a guy that's in position to push for the number 3 job.
Right, and you look at that tight end competition, they have a little bit of depth there. So losing Zach Miller is not the end of the world. We'll have to see what his prognosis is. And another injury, Kyle Fuller came out of the game with an injured right ankle, not believed to be serious, though. Right. I think the Bears just rested him as a precaution.
Yeah, so we'll see how some of these position battles begin to fill out over the final 2 games in the next 2 weeks. For Rich Campbell, I'm Brad Biggs. Check back at ChicagoTribune.com all weekend for more coverage.